What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tears for Fears. Once again, I'd like to thank all those who have been following this journey over roughly 3 years now and who are still here to enjoy their music to this very day. Shout out to all those who checked out some of the video reactions I've done for Tears for Fears, initially over on Patreon. I think a couple of them have been allowed to post here on YouTube. Thank you to Phil, who provided a couple studio albums that I didn't have in CD form in the earlier phase of this deep dive, including Elemental, from which this track, Start of the Breakdown, initially came. Shout out to Kim, who always provides amazing comments, not just on Tears for Fears, but a lot of the deep dives that she's either sponsoring or following. And in that regard, I did remember a lot of what she said here about this song when I reacted to the album version, which, if you'll remember, was very nostalgic for me because going into it, I didn't remember it by name, but once it started and I heard the main melodic riff and then the chorus, it was like, oh my god, I know this, I've heard this, I remember this. So not only was that a very fun experience in the moment, but as I have re-listened to the song many times since then, it's both compelling in a fresh way, because I don't know if I had ever heard it in full before I did that reaction, but it also has this layer of nostalgia. So yeah, it's a favorite of mine. I've come to enjoy it a great deal, and for the time being, and for whatever reason, I've been concentrating on a lot of the live performances on this Songs for a Nervous Planet double CD on the second disc, but there are other compelling songs waiting on the first disc from the live performances from the Tipping Point concerts. And if you didn't know, I've done, is it just one or is it two? I think it's just one at this point, but a live performance video reaction over on my Patreon for the Tipping Point series, which again, some of these recordings I understand come straight from those concerts. So yes, ultimately, let us keep going with Tears for Fears. I'm remembering a few aspects of Kim's comment here, one of which being that there's actually an acoustic version of Break It Down Again, which I think is on the deluxe edition of Raoul and the Kings from Spain. I don't think I ever reacted to that, and I remember Kim saying it has a bit more melancholy, and there is some melancholy in the normal version, even as it also sounds hopeful and upbeat, and I would be keen to react to that. So I'll have to go back and look at what Phil made available, and anyone else, including Kim out there, who can help me access that, do let me know. In any case, the point is, what I also remembered is a lot of what she said about the lyrics, that this can be seen in light of Roland and Tears for Fears' professional evolution and indeed breakdown following the Seeds of Love. She talked about the way, you could think of the behind the scenes in the studio in terms of production, Roland trying to take a more direct hand. I think there was another producer she talked about, given name Andy, am I remembering that correctly? But also how this speaks to the way that sometimes things breaking down or being destroyed provides an opportunity for something new to be created. And of course that's a concept that transgresses human cultures and religions and famous literature. I'm immediately thinking not only of Shiva and Vishnu, but of Faust by Goethe, and the way that part of what Dr. Faust ends up doing is sweeping away the old to make room for the new. And so I think in the context of Roland and Tears for Fears, you can think of the 90s material when he took over, sort of solo leadership of the group. I think you can see it in that light, that it was something breaking down, it was something falling by the wayside, but he did create something new out of that. And then if you flash forward far enough, you get reconciliation, you get a reinstantiation of the original duo. So yes, ultimately I think it is a very compelling song conceptually, musically, lyrically, and in the longer discography of Tears for Fears. So in that regard, I'm very excited to hear this live performance of it from the Tipping Point concerts, heard here as part of the Songs for a Nervous Planet double CD. I'm nearly running out of breath, so let's give this a listen. This is a live performance of Break It Down Again, initially from Elemental 1993, heard here in the live performance from the Tipping Point concerts and part of the Songs for a Nervous Planet release.
the world of secrets, in the world of sound. It's in the way you're always hiding from the light. See for yourself, you have been sitting on a time bomb. No revolution, maybe someone somewhere else could show you something new about you when you're in a song. And all the love in the world won't stop the rain from falling. We're sleeping underground. It's down again. I wanna break it down. Break it down again. So those are my schemes, and these are my plans. Hot tips for the boys, fresh news from the buzz. When it's all mixed up, better break it down. In the world of silence, in the world of sound. No sleep but dreaming, say the architects of life. Get bouncing babies, bread and butter, can I have a slice? They make no mention of the beauty of decay. Blue, yellow, pink umbrella, sing it for a rainy day. And all the love in the world won't stop the rain from falling. We're sleeping underground. It's down again. I wanna break it down.
Amazing. And I'll try to be brief because I know I've made this point on like 2 or 3 of the last 4 reactions from these live performances, but both Roland in this case and Curt, like, they retain their singing ability more than some of the other groups and singers that have been around since the 80s. Like, it's remarkable. They sound so good in these live performances. Those backing singers too, like, holy crap. There was a moment like right near the end where you can just hear the soulful backing vocals, and they were moving. That was really incredible. And of course, I should have commented in advance, but the meta thematic of them breaking the song down, the way the song breaks down and becomes more stripped down and minimal when he's singing about breaking it down again to, maybe then reconfigure and recompose. Like, it's just a literal and sonic manifestation of some of the meaning of the lyrics in the tune. So yeah, that is very clever and very fitting. And yeah, again, like, it sounds like the classic version of the tune enough to have that fidelity, but it also just has a bit of a flair to it that speaks to this being a much more recent live performance. And likewise, Roland's voice, it still has the melody and the power of the 90s studio version of the tune, but maybe he sounds just a bit more folksy here. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know if it's country, but yeah, he just has a bit of a like folksy swagger to some of his vocal delivery in this performance. So yeah, it's awesome. It's great. It's both nostalgic and fresh at the same time, which like even that seems to fit the meaning of the song. So I feel like they're really operating on this like, you know, 4-tier level. It's like, you know, the 4D chess thing where it's like they're doing all the things that you would expect and that are impressive, and then it's like you think about it more and it's like, oh wait, like I think they're actually even doing this, you know, beyond the normal way a song's meaning is articulated. So yeah, it's just awesome. As I said, I've been going through a lot of the live performances on disc 2. I'll maybe do a few more because again, like Rivers of Mercy is a more recent tune from them that I'd like to hear them do in live performance. But yeah, there's a lot of great ones waiting on disc 1 as well, so we'll go through the whole thing. I will continue to go through not only their historical music videos, and indeed I think one of them is more or less due to come back around at this point, but I will also continue to do some of those live performances like in video form that we're hearing here in audio form. So again, shout out to all the Tears for Fears folks who've been here for a long time, not only Kim, but Michael and Kevin and Amber, and a lot of you who've been here for multiple years now. You are all greatly appreciated, and I know there's at least a few of you over on Patreon that is appreciated on an even higher tier. So yeah, big shout out to all of you. Let me know what you think of this performance, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.